Most people believe their financial future depends on three things: how much they earn, how much they save, and how well they invest. But there's something else that silently shapes your financial life, something most people never think about. And strangely enough, it might be sitting next to you right now, your friends. Now that might sound strange. After all, your friends don't control your bank account. They don't decide your salary, and they definitely don't log into your investment app. But here's the surprising truth. Your friends influence how you think about money, how you spend, and even how wealthy you become, often without you realizing it. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly how that happens and why the people around you might be quietly shaping your financial future. Welcome to Liam Invest, where we break down money, investing, and wealth psychology in the simplest way possible. Let's start with a simple question. Imagine two people, both earn the exact same salary, same education, same job, same city. But 10 years later, one of them has built investments, savings, and financial freedom. The other is still living paycheck to paycheck. What happened? Most people would say, maybe one was smarter with money, or maybe one just got lucky. But there's another powerful factor hiding behind the scenes: their social environment, the people they spend time with, because humans are far more influenced by the people around them than we realize. In psychology, this is called social influence, but you don't need a psychology textbook to see it. Just look at everyday life. If your friends love going out every weekend, you probably go out more. If your friends constantly upgrade their phones, you'll start thinking about upgrading yours too. If your friends talk about investing and building wealth, suddenly investing starts feeling normal. This happens because humans are wired to mirror the behavior of their group. We copy what feels normal, and what feels normal is usually defined by the people around us. Now, here's where things get interesting. This invisible pressure doesn't just affect your habits, it affects your financial trajectory. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine two friend groups. Group A loves experiences. Every weekend, they go to expensive restaurants, clubs, and trips. They always talk about the latest gadgets: new phone, new sneakers, new car. Nothing wrong with enjoying life, but money flows out quickly. Saving and investing rarely come up in conversation. Now, imagine Group B. They still enjoy life, but their conversations look a little different. They talk about side hustles. They share investment ideas. They discuss business opportunities. They celebrate when someone pays off debt. Saving money isn't seen as boring, it's seen as progress. Now, think about what happens over time. If you're in Group A, spending becomes normal. You don't feel like you're overspending because everyone around you is doing the same thing. But if you're in Group B, building wealth becomes normal. Investing becomes part of everyday conversation. Saving money feels like a smart move instead of a sacrifice. And slowly, without realizing it, your financial behavior changes. This idea is actually supported by research. Studies have shown that people's financial habits are heavily influenced by the habits of their friends and social circles. If your close friends save money, you're more likely to save. If they invest, you're more likely to invest. If they overspend, you're more likely to overspend. Not because someone tells you to, but because humans constantly look around to answer one silent question: what's normal here? And whatever answer your brain finds, it adapts to it. But the influence of friends goes even deeper, because money decisions are rarely logical, they're emotional. Let's talk about something called lifestyle inflation. This happens when your spending increases every time your income increases. You get a raise, so you upgrade your lifestyle. Better apartment, better car, better restaurants, and suddenly the raise disappears. Now, here's where friends come in. Imagine one person in your friend group suddenly buys a new luxury car. At first, you might not care, but over time, your brain starts comparing. Maybe I should upgrade too. Then another friend upgrades their phone. Another friend moves to a nicer apartment. Without realizing it, your definition of normal life keeps expanding. This is called social comparison, and it's one of the most powerful forces behind financial decisions. Humans naturally compare themselves to others: income, lifestyle, success, and social media has made this effect even stronger, because now you're not just comparing with 5 friends, you're comparing with hundreds of people online. People showing vacations, luxury purchases, new houses, new businesses. Your brain sees all this and quietly thinks everyone else is moving ahead, so you try to keep up, even if it means spending more than you should. This is sometimes called the invisible pressure of keeping up, and it silently drains wealth. But the good news is, the same psychological force that can hurt your finances can also transform them, because influence works both ways. Imagine something different. Imagine being around people who talk about investing, financial independence, building businesses, learning new skills, paying off debt. Suddenly, these things don't feel unusual anymore. They feel normal. And when something feels normal, your brain stops resisting it. For example, if none of your friends invest in the stock market, investing might feel risky or confusing. But if 3 of your friends regularly talk about investing, it suddenly feels much easier to start. You begin asking questions, you start learning, you slowly participate, and before you realize it, you're investing too. Your environment quietly shifted your behavior. This idea was actually captured perfectly by motivational speaker Jim Rohn, who once said, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Now, that statement isn't mathematically exact, but the psychology behind it is very real. Your environment shapes your habits shape your decisions, and your decisions shape your financial future. Think about it like planting a tree. If you plant the same seed in 2 different environments, the results will look completely different. One grows in fertile soil, the other grows in dry soil. Same seed, different environment, different outcome. Your financial habits work the same way. Your environment acts like soil. The people around you either encourage growth or quietly limit it. Now, this doesn't mean you should suddenly cut off your friends. That's not the point. The point is awareness, because once you understand how social influence works, you can start designing your environment intentionally instead of letting it happen randomly. For example, you can start surrounding yourself with people who talk about growth, people who read about investing, people who are building something, people who encourage smarter financial choices. And today, this is easier than ever. Your circle doesn't only have to be physical friends. It can also include books, podcasts, YouTube channels, online communities, mentors you follow. These voices slowly shape how you think, and how you think about money determines how you behave with money. Small mindset shifts create massive financial results over time. Think about someone who invests $300 every month. That might not sound life-changing, but over 20 or 30 years, that habit could grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now imagine that habit started because one friend casually said, "Hey, you should start investing early." One conversation, one idea, one influence, and the ripple effect lasts decades. This is why successful people often talk about the power of environment, not because friends directly control your money, but because they influence the beliefs that guide your decisions, and beliefs are powerful. If your environment believes money is always tight, you might believe that too. If your environment believes investing is risky, you might avoid it. But if your environment believes money can grow if you invest wisely, your brain starts seeing opportunities and your actions slowly follow. This is why 2 people with the same income can end up with completely different financial futures, because they lived in different environments, different conversations, different influences, different beliefs, and those small differences compound over time. So here's the practical takeaway. Pay attention to the financial conversations around you. Do your friends mostly talk about spending or building? Do they celebrate purchases or progress? Do they encourage growth or normalize debt? You don't need perfect friends, but your environment should include at least some voices pushing you forward financially, because the people around you quietly set the standard for what feels normal, and your financial life will slowly rise or fall to match that standard. So the next time you think about building wealth, remember this simple idea. Your financial future isn't shaped only by what you earn. It's also shaped by who you spend your time with. Choose your environment carefully, because the right environment doesn't just change